Welcome back. This is Bottom Line on Bloomberg Television and streaming on your tablet, your phone, and Bloomberg.com. The U.S. remains on guard for potential terrorist attacks overseas this week. At least 19 U.S. embassies and consulates in predominantly Muslim countries will remain closed through August 10th. Jonathan Schanzer is Vice President of Research at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He's a former terrorism finance analyst at the U.S. Treasury Department, and he joins us tonight from our Washington Bureau. Jonathan, welcome back to Bottom Line. Good to have you back on.
Thank you very much.
Jonathan, a State Department spokesman said the decision to keep the embassies and consulates closed is a sign of, quote, an abundance of caution and is not, again, quoting, an indication of a new threat. What do you make of that assessment?
Well, as we understand it now, and this is information that's come out over the course of the afternoon, is there was an intercept that the intelligence community here got a hold of from Pakistan, from the head of Al-Qaeda, Al-Zawahiri, to his number 2 in Yemen, a man by the name of Nasser Al-Wahishi, who's basically now the number 2 in Yemen. And apparently there were attacks that were being planned or discussed in Yemen or perhaps throughout the rest of the Middle East. And so there is a very specific and credible threat now.
Jonathan, this does bring back into focus what we were talking about just a few moments ago, the NSA programs, the programs that Edward Snowden says that he leaked information about. What are we to make of this, of the fact that some of this chatter, as it's being called, was probably picked up by one of those programs?
Well, you know, you have a lot of people out there with conspiracy theories saying that this was the United States waiting to release this, and now basically trying to say that they were right all along to have these programs in place. But the bottom line is that even if it was not intercepted through electronic intercepts, these sorts of things have been picked up many, many times in the past, and they are critical to ensuring the safety of the United States and its citizens.
Jonathan, one of the countries where U.S. diplomatic facilities are closed is Yemen. How did this country on the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula become what's believed to be the home base of Al-Qaeda's most dangerous affiliate?
Sure. Well, actually, it started in 2003 and 2004 when this same affiliate group was active in Saudi Arabia. The Saudis suffered at the hands of this group. They were driven out of Saudi Arabia just further south to Yemen, and it's there that they have reconstituted. Al-Qaeda has always looked for areas of weak central authority, areas where the authorities are not able to penetrate these groups deep into the desert. And so they've taken these last 5 or 6 years to reconstitute. They are by far the strongest affiliate group within the Al-Qaeda network.
Jonathan, what's the cost of terror threats to the U.S.?
Well, let's just put it this way, Mark. I mean, we've got 19 to 22 embassies shut down. They are the points for all business, all military transactions, all visas, and so it's impossible to put a number on it. But I would say that that it's obviously crippling the United States in its ability to conduct diplomacy abroad, and that obviously translates to cash as well.
Jonathan, let's talk about the money pipeline then, the economics of terrorism. Who's funding these groups?
Well, Al-Qaeda has always benefited from Gulf nations, usually individuals, not countries any longer. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, there was something called the Golden Chain, which were basically oil sheikhs that were making sure that funds got to bin Laden and his associates. But the fact remains is that in places like Yemen, it doesn't take very much for these groups to survive. These are the same sorts of groups that boasted that it only cost a few $100s to try to blow up an airliner with cartridges that were destined for the United States.
Jonathan, we have about a minute left. You wrote a book 9 years ago called Al-Qaeda's Armies. You surmise that Al-Qaeda is a network of concentric circles that are in effect their own independent authorities. How much more difficult does that autonomy make it to contain and ultimately decimate that global threat?
Well, that's exactly the point. It makes it almost impossible. And there were many, even a year ago, who were saying that Al-Qaeda was decimated or that it was dead. And I think that what this has showed us right now is that these affiliate groups, these franchises, which were created to be autonomous in all these different parts of the world, continue to pose a threat to the United States, and that even when we take out Osama bin Laden or other senior leaders, the rest of the network will be extremely difficult to defeat.
Jonathan Schanzer, he's Vice President of Research at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, joining us from our Washington Bureau tonight. Jonathan, always a pleasure to have you on and get your expertise. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.